Hey, welcome back. This is Blue Nautilus here with another episode of Modular Makeover, where we take a Eurorack module, turn it into something completely different inside and out. Now, today we're going to deal with the noise engineering Legio platform. This is another great DAISY-based platform that allows us to easily swap out the firmware. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a module that I had made many years ago as a VCV rack module, a module called Jawari, and we're going to put it into the Vert Iter Legio. So I'm going to take this and turn it into this. Now, if you're not familiar with Jawari, Jawari is a tanpura simulator. It's basically an electronic tanpura machine. Tanpura is an ancient Indian drone instrument. It's a very simple instrument, but it makes an amazing drone sound. The way it works is there's 4 strings, and you just strum the strings in a cycle one at a time, let them ring out, fold into each other, and they create this buzzy, mystical drone. It's one of my favorite sounds. It's one of the things that got me into Indian classical music in the first place. And I bought one of these back in the early 2000s on a trip to India. It's an electronic tanpura machine that Indian musicians use for practicing. And I've just always loved the sound. I try to incorporate it into my music whenever I can. And so we're going to take this module Jawari and put it into the Legio platform. Now, the sound of the tanpura depends a lot upon the bridge and the shape of the bridge. So the strings make contact with this long bridge that's made out of either bone or some kind of plastic. And the specific shape of this bridge gives the tone, the characteristic sound of the strings. And depending on the exact shape of this bridge, you can make the instrument sound very, very different. So there are specialized craftspeople that will very carefully change the minute shape of the bridge to change the sound of the instrument. This is a process known as Jawari. There's a lot of different ideas about where this word came from, but the etymology I prefer is the one that it comes from the Sanskrit word for life, and that it gives life to the sound. And, you know, if you make the Jawari in one particular shape, it'll sound duller. If you make it another way, it'll sound sort of more buzzy and more open. And this is one of the parameters that you can change on my Jawari module. I'm going to show you how it works. And of course, as part of Modular Makeover, we have to change the way the module looks. And so I've made a new faceplate for the Legio. It is in seaside blue, and it's got some nice Indian patterns in there. Of course, remember, for all of these videos, if you want to make this yourself, I'm including the files that are necessary to fabricate this faceplate. They're open source on GitHub, and there's a link to them down below in the description. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how this thing works. It's quite simple. What we're going to do is we're going to take a clock signal, just a trigger, into the strum input here. And every time we strum the string with a trigger, we're going to hear the next string being played. And so this is going to go in order. So you can hear the strings being strummed. There are 4 strings. Traditionally, 3 of the strings are tuned to the root note of the scale. That's called sa in the Indian system. And one of them is tuned to a perfect 5th. That's called pa in the Indian system. But we're going to be able to change that. I'll show you in a moment. To change the tuning of the main strings, you can turn the tuning knob. If you press in and turn, it changes faster. The shape knob controls the shape of the Jawari, whether it's closed, flat, more like a guitar string, or whether it's more buzzy, like this. The bottom knob here is a low-pass filter when this toggle switches in the up position. When we move this toggle switch into the down position, this knob is now going to control the tuning of that last string. You can hear it. And that's always a relative tuning, so when we change this knob, it changes all the strings at once. This over here controls the twanginess of the strings. In the bottom position, they're less buzzy. The middle position, slightly more. In the top position, it's the most. I have one audio signal coming out of the left channel here. There's a left and right channels, but they're identical, so it doesn't matter which one you use. And each of these controls can also be modulated by CV, of course. So for example, let's take an LFO here and put it into the second input here, which is going to control the shape of the Jawari. It's changing the rate there. You can hear the Jawari shape changing. You can do the same thing with the low pass filter. We also have a volt per octave input here to actually play this thing